still been flying high.
That's what I'm saying. What we know of is Memphis wrestling. What made it rain? Why did it come out on top? Was it I know when you was there, how, like, for example, behind the scenes, you know, you and Lawler and Jared or whatnot, was you majorly involved in everything?
Majorly.
I mean,
majorly.
It's majorly.
Majorly. So yeah. So I mean, yeah, you was Lawler, was Jared was the promoter, Lawler and me, you know, was the books. So the reason I go into that end of it, I like the business, just the way that, you know, I mean, I want to find out all how it did. When I was a kid, Mark Moon was the booker in Australia. And he brought guys over from Australia. And I would watch them. And me and Barnes, and I'd say to myself, they can't do this as good as me and Barnes. But they're the main event, so why are they the main event? So you have to stay and watch what they do. It's not nothing to do with wrestling, it's not nothing to do with it. It's what the promotion wants you to do and how it all works and how they put it together. Well, Mark Miller was the booker and I got to know Mark, and he was a real good guy, so I would watch him do what he did. So I thought, well, that puppet don't dance unless the puppet even knows how to make it dance. And that's what the booker's job is. That's why it sucks today. It all has to start from back here, because nobody can do it. They get all into movies and things and this and that, storylines, they ain't got a freaking clue what they're talking about. The name of the game still stays wrestling. It has to resemble some kind of wrestling.
Yeah. As far as before the NWA was formed, was the territories more, going back to like I was talking, was it more cutthroat between the territories before the NWA was formed? A lot of people don't know what the NWA was.
Okay, well I'll tell you what the NWA is, and that was before the territories, and this was what that was put together for. All the South was in the NWA, and then Vince's dad had the WWF up in New York, and Greg Gagne had the AWA over in Minneapolis. So that was the three deals: the WWF, the AWA, and the NWA. NWA was done through the South, and there was more territories in the South than there was on the other end of the state. But that was all the promoters getting together. That was the National Wrestling Alliance, not to help you, the wrestler. That was to help me, promoter. Because if I promoted you in Memphis and you just quit and went off to Florida, if you didn't do what they want you to do in Memphis, you didn't get booked in Florida. So that was there to protect the wrestling,
protect their interests,
the organization, and to control the champion. The NWA champion, Ric Flair, he worked for all them people. He got 7% or whatever it was, all the gates. He stayed busy. So that's what the NWA was all about. And it had a lot of territories in it. The AWA and the WWF was run by one guy, Vernon Gagne up in the AWA territory, and Vince Sr. up in New York with WWF.
Well, when Vince Jr. started buying things out or whatnot, excuse me, why couldn't the NWA or the territory, why couldn't anybody compete with them? I mean, because when you guys were hot in Memphis, there was nothing bigger, period.
And never been nothing bigger since. Vince
No,
never,
I
told you, well, I'll tell you why. Agreed, and Vince was a very smart guy. He went and he talked to all the main event guys, all the stars, the Ric Flairs, the Hulk Hogans, the Dusty Rhodes, everybody was anybody in somebody else's territory and got them to leave for X amount of dollars. So they all left, so there was no stars there. The last one to go was really Lawler at Memphis.
Yeah,
he was the last guy to go up in the thing. And he used to say, this is why people in Memphis got him in. Well, I don't want to go up there. That was bullshit. They had never asked him. The minute they asked him, he went.
See, that's one thing that was always shocking was when he went, it kind of seemed like
because he said he wouldn't. And he did. I went up and talked to him. Didn't like him then, don't care for him now.
Well, was he just, was the amount of money so much that nobody could compete against it?
In the end, it was, I mean, when he does his WrestleMania, and it's $50 to buy it, and it's worldwide, so what, it takes in $100 million. It's not much to give you $1 million off the top if it be the main event. It sounds like a lot of money. Oh, I got $1 million for the main event for WrestleMania. Look what he took in. You get 1% or something.
So I know also you went down and you worked for Crockett, right?
Yeah.
And Bill Watts.
Yeah, I was the booker there too.
Well, you know, you did booking, you did wrestling, you did managing, you've done everything. Did it matter to you what you was doing as long as you was in the business?
No, as long as I was in the office. No, I had to be in the office.
Oh, you want, okay.
Because if you're not in the office, you're not in control of nothing.
Yeah.
Wherever you saw Bill Dundee, I had a little pencil to go with.
So I mean, coming into Memphis, that kind of helped you.
Yeah, I went to Jerry Jarrett and asked him, I went and learned this, and he taught me, I can say that for Jerry. He taught me what to do with the all. Well, Mark Lewin started it in Australia, but I wanted to do it, so I went to learn how to do it.
And I know also like when the WWE was taking over stuff, he was working down at WCW at the time. I guess that was when he was working, because he was with Steven Regal.
Yeah.
Doing Sir William. How did that gimmick come about? We talked about that before, but just how did it come about to where you was
Okay,
Sir
Bill
William's
Watts.
man, or you was Steven Regal?
Bill Watts went to England, they went on English tour, and he likes wrestlers. He liked guys that can shoot and do what Regal does. So he brought him over here with Steve Regal. Totally lost. Couldn't get himself lost in the ring. Couldn't get himself to the ring. What we did. Great guy. I like him. No personality. Just Steve Regal. So Dusty, Ric Flair, me, Mike Graham, Greg Gagne was the booking committee. So we said, we're going to do something with this guy. They're going to fight him. So, well, why don't we make him a Lord? Lord Steven Regal. And I'll manage him. I'll get that stupid little hat and glasses and the umbrella and all the stuff.
Did you come up with that?
Oh, yeah. Well, it wasn't hard to come up with. I'd seen that. I grew up there. You know,
Oh,
Britain,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't hard. Somebody said put Larry Sabisco with him. I said, how do you go to Larry Sabisco? He talks American. What does he know about American? English. Lord. Well, okay then. So anyway, I'm doing it. I did it. So that's how he became Lord Steven Regal, and I was Sir William.
What ended that reign at WCW with you? Because that's when they started hitting up. I know Bischoff took over.
That idiot, that's what ended it. Complete frigging goof.
Did it completely change when he took over? Was it?
Yeah, he was an idiot. He doesn't know nothing about the wrestling business.
Did you work with him at all? While you were still there?
I was in the same buildings and offices. You couldn't work with him.
That's why I didn't know how. I know before I could.
That
remember
white
how
shit will
long
make you do strange stuff. You know, when you lay that in a line, you snort it up your nose. That's what he did.
What well, I mean, was you
How do
having
you
to
go
become-
broke? I wouldn't help him snort it. I'd quit by then, but no.
Was
No, you can't help him. He was Hulk Hogan crazy. He was anybody else crazy. He was Big Star crazy. He was just goofy.
And he just had that power to where he could.
Yeah, whatever Hogan said, do, he did.
And after that, what you did. I don't know why you never did go to WWE. Is it because you didn't like Vince? Is it?
That I mean, I had no desire to do what they were offering.
Is it?
And I had another business going. It was making a lot of money, and I didn't need Vince, and he didn't need me.
Going back to some of your biggest matches, the one that everybody always talks about is the Tupelo match. And I know you're probably
Tupelo, Mississippi.
How did that whole match come about? What was it? I mean,
Accident.
Was it just because you all did go from town to town, and why didn't the biggest match that you're known for take place in Memphis? You know what I mean? It is weird that it was in a different town.
The logistics of the building. When the dressing room was on one side and there was the concession stand on the other side. It was just the logistics of the building. And they had a little window up top that you shot down into the ring to make the show. Well, we'd done this 100 times, fought to the back. Damn near every Friday for a month we'd been into a fight. We'd fight all the way in the back and the bad guys running the wrestling.
Yeah.
So we done that this same Friday. Lance says, okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being in Tupelo, Mississippi. Good night, see you next week. Shut the camera down. So we're fighting. Bam, 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 bam. Larry Latham and Wayne Ferris, Ron Bombers and Danny Davis. So we fight them all the way at the back, and they just decide, well, we've had enough of this. So they jump over the concession stand, which they had done a bunch of times before, and nothing happened. So me and Lawler's there, so Lawler started, where the hell are you going? He said, I'm going after him. So we're going to go with him. Here we go. We climb over in the concession stand, and they look at it like this. Nobody knows what we're doing.
Yeah.
We didn't either. So he just picked up a jar of pickles and threw it at somebody, and they dumped it, hit the wall. It was on, bam, wrecked. And if you watch the tape, you'll see the guys that own the concession stand, the guy and the girl, the woman, running around picking stuff up, trying to save it. We're trying to wreck it, do all kinds of things. So we have this is Vince calling now, but I'm not going, so that's all right. That was my little phone there, but that's okay. Anyway, so we have a hell of a fight. So then Jerry Jarrett comes over and he says, you guys go get out of here. And he gets us all settled down and gets us out of there. They started the camera back up. We went back and watched the tape, and it just looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
My God, nobody's seen nothing like this. So we run a year on that. We showed that all over the territory, all over the place. Nick Goudas even borrowed it, and me and Lawler and them over there to his territory. We went to Knoxville with it, went all over with it. Wherever they saw it, we won it.
See, that's what, to me, your all storylines back then, they don't touch anything like that now. Period. I don't know.